Good morning, fellow Nigerian. Once again, it's George Onibe. And as always, we will continue to do everything we know that is necessary, everything we know that is lawful, everything we know we need to do in order to salvage the next generation of our people. And I would love to start this morning by singing a song, my dialect song. Umenele memihen, umenele memihen, umenele memihen, asiweni meme o, neghari okwu gbaghari mo, ukwelu nedim, ghari okwu gbaghari mo, ijelum. Asim umenele memihen, umenele memihen, umenele memihen, asiweni meme o. Nene ghari okwu gbaghari mo, ekwulu baba ghari okwu gbaghari mo, ijelu. And I'm sure only very few people will understand that song. The Igbo Biafra can crack their brain. But what you're saying is still similar anyway. But we are not the same people. Now, why did I have to sing that song? When you know what they know, they will say you are a bad person. Let me create a scenario. Somebody want to bewitch you, poison you, destroy you, and you are aware. Each time they set the trap, for instance, they put a charm, expecting you will match it and be afflicted diabolically. But because you know, you jump it. Peradventure, you have the cure. You survived it. They will say, don't worry, we will get him. They will make another plan, and you already know you are able to avert all their arrows, all their plans. They will get to a stage. The only option they have is to say you are a bad person. In a Nigerian mood, this is how they explain it. That man a bad man. See all the thing where we they do him. No one they reach her. That man must be a bad man. This is the position where we may have found ourselves because we know what they know. And so those of you who follow my platform, you will understand that we are not here to massage anybody's ego. And you see the real problem, the real people constituting nuisance as far as Nigeria is concerned, denting the image of our country, Nigeria. Watch all of them. They are almost these Igbo Biafra people. You will see them here. They will tell you, he's an idiot, he stole money, he's useless, he lives in an uncompleted building. All is not because they're saying the truth. This is because I know what they know. And that is the problem. This morning, I will want you to know the truth. We are going to dish out this information to you in diverse means. We are praying honestly that you will be able to unlock everything we are telling you. Honestly, God will not do for man what man should do for themselves. A lot of things are going on in Nigeria to the extent that we don't know where to start solving our problem. We can't even tell when it all began, and certainly we are not aware of where it is going to end. But this is the danger there. Many ethnic groups will be wiped out without your knowledge. A lot of culture, tradition, and heritage has been destroyed already. There are diverse means and different patterns through which they are doing this. And some have been beaten down so much that they can't even react anymore. I come from such a tribe until now. But in order for us to survive and we become who we are, because this is not our decision, this is not our making, but we know that to remain what we are, we have a role to play. And that is why I simply say God will not do for man what man should do for themselves. I believe in my ancestors. I believe that somebody owns this world. Somebody creates this world. Somebody runs this world. And I believe that only those who are open to knowledge and revelation, getting ready to apply it, are the only people that will harness the beauty of this world. No wonder the Bible says, for God has planted eternity in the heart of man, but they cannot be able to see the full scope. Not because they are blind, because they are too weak to see beyond their nose, if I will use those words. This morning, I want us to look at a message I simply titled, Who Runs Your Community? Who are the people running your community? If you must survive as an ethnic group in Nigeria, there is no two ways about it. Nobody will find out for you. You are the one that will find out those who are running, those who are managing, those who are influencing your community space. Now, look, there are many countries in the world today that has zero tolerance for corruption. Zero tolerance for corruption. I think Denmark should be one of the countries across the globe without any atom of corruption. We can talk about Sweden. We can talk about so many European countries. And of course, you have the Chinese, the Japanese. This is because, not because they don't have criminal tendency. This is because the people who runs this country, they create no room for corruption. Understand, it is not God that is creating it. The people who runs this country, they make sure they have zero tolerance for corruption. Go to Denmark. Go to Ireland. Go to most of these countries. Those of you who are well-traveled, look at their corruption index. The people cannot change the thing until the people know what plagues them, and those they send to represent them work on those issues. And so each time, for instance, in Nigeria, you're talking about corrupt leaders, corrupt politicians, corrupt civil servants, corrupt men of God, corrupt monarch, corrupt population, everybody corrupt. Understand who runs the system. Let's check Nigerian as a case study first of all. Who run Nigeria? They are the one that will directly or indirectly, consciously or subconsciously, influencing what goes around in Nigeria. Don't play naive here. Because I repeat again, God will not do for man what man should do for themselves. When the Hausa run Nigeria 100%, no, it did not start with Hausa. When the Igbo run Nigeria 100%, they created institution, control switch that will suit their own ethnic group, their own league, their own cartel, their own cabal. That is why the damage Monakwe Thomas Aguiyi-Ironsi did to Nigeria constitutionally, we are not going to recover in a very long time, except you get the beginning of this, the end of this, my broadcast. Nigeria were trying to place their foot on the ground to become a country. And those people we have appointed to go and represent us, they formed a clique and they pushed some people away. The few of them remaining formed Wazobia. So Wazobia run Nigeria. And this is because supposedly majority Yoruba as a majority, Igbo as a majority, and Hausa as a majority can decide the fate of all of you supposed minority. Not because you are minority, because they said you are minority. I'm coming. And so the first people who handled leadership were the Igbo people. This Igbo Biafra in disguise. I'm coming. Monakwe Aguiyi-Ironsi being the first military president of Nigeria. The few constitutions we have made to run this nation, he destroyed all of them. He re-edited it. He pushed this aside and then gave us decree. A decree that Nigerians cannot come out today and tell us that this was actually what they agree in the Supreme Military Council, based on the simple fact that when the military are empowered, the Constitution has suspended. We know this. But then there is another body that they call the Supreme Military Council, has not come out to tell we the Nigerians that every decree made by Agun Yorunsi was actually their making. They agreed unanimously as Nigerians to enact such decree. Now understand, that decree laid the foundation of who runs Nigeria. Thomas Omonaku Agun Yorunsi started imposing decree. All of you must become Nigeria. Everybody must report to Nigeria. All those rubbish. What he did favored his people, his Igbo people. He did not favor Yoruba. He did not favor Hausa at that instance. The Yoruba could only stand and watch. The Hausa people were boiling because of what has happened, which gave birth to the enthronement of Agun Yorunsi. Only 3 of them were the major player. Only 3 of them run this country. But they know the politics already. They control their territory already. We don't run our territory. They run our territory on our behalf. I'm coming. And after a few months, Agun Yorunsi was murdered in cold blood as a revenge for what is known as Igbo coup today. And so the Hausa people took power on this platform. They discovered that anybody who runs Nigeria with that decree ultimately benefit from Nigeria. And so Hausa people sat on that mandate till tomorrow morning. But I'm coming. So we became one Nigeria. No more region. Everything must go to the federal. And who runs the federal? They are the one who will decide whether there is corruption or there is no corruption. They are the one who decide who live and who die. They are the one who decide everything, absolutely. Who lead you, who runs you. You have no say. And they are still doing it tomorrow. And for a very long time, Hausa benefited from it. And along the line in the late 80s, people have started complaining. This constitution, they need to be this, constitutional review, constitutional conference, they need to be, all these people have started glamoring. The people who run Nigeria went behind closed doors rather. And they gave us 1999 constitution as amended. But don't let anybody deceive you. They just re-edited the decree of Omonaku Agun Yorunsi. Abdul Salam Abubakar now, make sure it continue. Because at that era now, I will run Nigeria. And so they continue to enjoy it. But Tinubu, in less than 2 years on now, is about to rewrite who runs Nigeria. And it is shocking, it's amazing, just a short period of time, because he knew these things. He's not saying it, he's rewriting the history. Obasanjo them only was using body language to even complicate the life of more minorities, supposedly. Who runs your nation? Who runs your community? Most problem we are facing today that give birth to Igbo trying to claim me that I am Igbo and create sub-Igbo. And all these things they are doing is Obasanjo that aided and abetted them by giving out our country to Cameroon, by giving out our country to different people. Just butchered us, concocted us, weakened us the more. And today, we're still struggling to recover ourselves from Obasanjo boundary adjustment program. It's a Yoruba man. But finally, Tinubu is here. He runs this country. Invariably, Yoruba run this country. It's not a time where I begin to tell you that almost all the head of government parasitators are headed by Yoruba. They run it. You can run your mouth. I also go and form alliance. Until you get there, you don't run this country. Deal with it. But of course, you still have influence based on many years of dominance. That is, I'm talking about general Nigeria. Now Yoruba is creating a platform for them to run Nigeria. And so whatever happened, it's all determined by what is the mentality of those people who run your country. Nigeria is not my problem at this instance, but so you understand. The Igbo, having lost the first opportunity to run this nation, are fighting very hard to return to run this country. Now, like I always tell them, the three of them now have found themselves in a state of dilemma between the devil and the deep blue sea. They cannot go forward, they cannot go backward. The person who has the scepter of authority should do what he has to do. That is why Tinubu don't send any of you. Anything he sees will happen. You give him headache, he will use that decree of Agu Yoronsi that metamorphosed to Abdulsalam Abubakar 1999 constitution. And they are trying to change the constitution. Watch their body language. Watch Senator Akpabio body language, because you minority will be used to re-edit our life. But you are not getting it and you are not my concern. Hold on. Who runs your community? That is my concern here. And so all of a sudden, they want to do tax amendment bill. It's a beautiful thing because our constitution needs to be reviewed. A lot of issues need to be addressed. They know they are not ready for the truth. That is why they avoid national confab. That is why they don't want you to have a constitutional review. That is why even though they fakely present it to you, they will choose the people who will come and represent your people, because these are the people who runs Nigeria. That is Nigeria. Let them continue. You wake up one day, somebody supposedly an Anyoma man wake up and begin to beg Nigeria. Oh, almighty Nigeria, please, as a senator of Anyoma people, almighty Nigeria, please carry Anyoma and then give it to the Igbo people. Senator Nedi Nwokuru forgot that we own Onitsha. Anyoma owns Onitsha. Ogbaru and his environ belongs to Anyoma people. It's not for Igbo people not to talk of Igbo Biafra. Obasanjo gave River Niger to them. And then, all these things creating, they are butchering us. Collect one state from Edo, collect one from community from Delta, collect one from Ondo, concord them, collect the land of the Midwestern region. We know the game. And then go to Akwa Ibom, collect one side, give us Obolo state. We know all this game. People are running these things, not for the interest of your community, not for our interest. They are still running the affair of Nigeria as they think is better for them. And as we speak, if there is corruption, they are the one to stop it. If there is no corruption, they are the one that controls it. We gave the power to our leaders. And based on our mandate, who is supposed to be the constitution, the security apparatus are empowered to defend life and properties of Nigeria. Though the leaders has immunity, and this immunity defend their people. You can look at the body language of what is going on. You minority, you are the target. All of a sudden, PDP, all of them, they are going to zone the presidential candidate to South. We are the Mugu. Maybe they wanted Chibuike Amechi, Onyeso Wike, to say, yes, this is my opportunity. If you know Onyeso Wike, tell him not to contest against Tinubu. When Tinubu tenure is over, he can come and contest. I know he will go forward. But all these things are game. Tell Wike not to even let him remain his minister. Because there are things they do that we have not said. That is why I call Akwa Ibom people. Akwa Ibom people, we know the game. I cannot come out and begin to condemn Akwa Ibom. I could only envy them, not negatively. I will wish to be like them because they know all this game all the time. They didn't fight this game back. What they did was to sit back and benefit from the whole process. And that is why they are able to defend their territory. Unlike the Benin people in that ancient time, the Benin did not go to fight anybody and they did nothing and they just kept quiet, preserving all that matters to them. Go and look at all the people, Agui Munakwe, all the people who challenge this president. All of them were locked up in Ikotekbene. Why were they locked up in Ikotekbene? There are things we know we don't want to see it. So, Senator Akpabio, this is not the era of building prison in Ikotekbene. And this is not the era that you will, as a Senate president, begin to enact law to destroy others. It will affect you. Your people already don't want to Bolu State. Because it's like taking Akwa Ibom land and giving it to Igbo people. But let's see how the bill will end. Because this is just the beginning of the end. I'm trying to create this scenario on a national level. It's not to be biased against any ethnic group. Because when your fathers are hustling to control my father kept quiet and accepted it. Why will I blame you? And even though we cannot be able to undo all these things you people have done to keep Nigeria on her knees, we will point the truth to our children, the next generation of our people. You will not have your way easily. And if you are from South as we speak, they are telling you, oh, you are the best candidate. Even Chibuka Amechi. Don't let them fool you. Come back home and realign yourself. You are off course. You've gone very far. Don't let them deceive you. You are the one they are going to mesmerize. And if you people continue to play this game, mark my word, when Tinubu 8 years expire, Yoruba person will still be the president of Nigeria. All of you are going to run. You are not knowing what you put yourself into. But why am I saying all these things? You think solving Nigeria problem is going to be from the Aso Rock? No. Solving Nigeria problem will start from your community. I have a relative that is in Singapore. He's been there for a very long time. And he said to me that when he came to Singapore, it was practically village like Agbo. There's nothing much there. It's been a while he's there. Until they review how their country functions. They review those who run their country. I think they have 5 districts or 8 districts, if I'm not mistaken, based on how they structure their people. And there are people they call CDC, Community Development Council or so. He said this group of individuals, just like we have in Nigeria, create different leader or like region in different angle. You see, when they bring what the country can make, they make sure that if they tie one road, for instance, a 100-kilometer road in the southeast, they will tie the same 100-kilometer road in the southwest, the same 100-kilometer road in the north central, in the south, in the northeast, the entire region. He said when they build one hospital for any of this region, they duplicate it. And so despite the ones that have natural resources or the ones that don't have natural resources, they all grow together. That is what I call equity. Equity is not about who is more intelligent. It's not about who is more advantageous. It's about creating a platform for the disabled and the able people to operate evenly. Equity. And look at Singapore today. Go and look at the economic GDP. Go and look at their security analysis globally. They should be around the 5th in the world. Go and look at the rate of development. Go to Singapore because they understand equity. But Nigeria, we are still fighting who is a majority and who is irrelevant. And it is applicable to every other country. And so when the people at the head are corrupt, everybody will corrupt. You can only change the tide of this current of the river until you know the people who are controlling your community. And why do we have to check it? A lot of things are going on as we speak today in Nigeria. Most of you are disconnected from your village. But this is one truth you must know. My great-grandfather lived all his life in Warri. They were disconnected from the village. He would have been able to communicate to my people across board, because my community, if you are going to Warri, it's not up to 7 kilometers. Because after my community, then another community, you begin to see, when I mean Warri land, whether Urubu, Shekiri, Oli, Abraka, Patani, it's just the same road leading from my community. He did not connect with the home. He knew nothing. And the next grandfather did the same thing. They continued. Understand, they are large family. There are some that were in the village. They remain connected to the home up till now. But the tide is changing, but they are not aware. And then my own father came close to the town, to our village, our community. But he had little or less relationship with his community. Almost 60% disconnected. But at least, and now this is my time. Born and brought up in Orogodo. We live there as if, oh, this is where our village. It was never our village. If you are a youth, listen to me very closely. This is where your father has found blessing. This is where your father has found fulfillment and purpose for their life. And then soon our parents has departed. And I live in a different community where my children think this is where we come from. And I'll look at them. And I have to accept this truth and reality that one day I will not be here. The ones that are in Enugu may love Enugu and remain there. And their children will think they are from Enugu. And the ones that are in Lagos may choose to remain there because they found peace, prosperity, fulfillment there. Others could go to Sokoto, and that is where they found the purpose in life for them. But they cannot forget that they're coming from somewhere. But they may not return to that place. And so the only thing they connected to is emotionally. And that is why we are easily mesmerized, easily manipulated. And I remember I'm asking you, who controls your village? Today, when we debate the issue of Agbo, I know where I can talk as an Eka man. And I know where I can only support, I can't even be against. It's either I am in or I don't go against them. Sorry for those of you who don't understand it. But you see, my economic space, that is the only place I can go to in Nigeria where no matter what happens, they will temper justice with mercy. And then you go further, it's your maybe region. But you are disconnected from them. How do you think you can control or affect or make your position to be fed by those who run Nigeria, where you don't run your community? I know you don't understand what I'm saying, but let's see how I can be able to comprehensively make you see a whole history that will take me 1 year to analyze in just less than 30 minutes. Now, today, there are a lot of atrocities going on in our communities. You can call them conspiracy theories. They are going on. Just 3 days ago, a community in Rivers State, they captured some Igbo Biafra people who brought drug into the community. Now, it's not about selling drug. They are everywhere now. This Igbo Biafra, their drug is everywhere, all in hiding in South. And somebody is there who telling you this, how to checkmate these people. You think you don't know. Now, this is what they do. There is a community in Warri. You know, of course, when I say Warri, I'm not just saying it could be Ajakpa, it could be any place. But just look at that area. They were having crisis. And so